Now I know without a shadow of a doubt what I'm going to say in this particular video might rub some of you the wrong way. It might even, get some blood boiling. But honestly, it's something that you need to hear. So let's get started. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In today's video, I want to speak to you about the issue of us and what we're doing to destroy our children. Because believe it or not, this is what many of us are doing. And some of us, it's not our fault. Some of it is because we were raised this way. And we are pushing off on our children those bad ideas and morals and values that were pushed off on us. Now, what I want to talk to you about is all of this extra coddling we do with our children. As a family and parenting coach, I deal with my clients on a regular basis on exactly this. On why we're raising children or we're raising young adults that aren't going anywhere. They're not moving in any direction. And this is because we raised them, teaching them from the time that they're young that they're special. And they are. They're very special to us. They need to know this. We need to make sure that our kids understand this, that they mean the world to us. But at the same point in time, we need to show them the other side and let them know, listen, the rest of the world doesn't care. What do I mean by this? Yes, we understand that we're brothers and sisters to one another, things along these sorts. But the excuses that we make for our children, they need to know that the rest of the world is not going to make those excuses. The chances that we give to our children, they need to know the rest of the world is not going to give them those same chances. The way that we look at our children, the rest of the world is not going to look at them in that same manner. They need to know that, yes, when it comes to their parents, yes, we coddle our children. We tell them they're special. We do our best to do that we can spoil them. But they need to know outside of these walls, they need to work in order to establish whatever it is that they want to establish. We can't keep putting them in a situation where, okay, they're going out here. I mean, look at what society's producing. People don't want to work anymore to get anything done. They want to sit around, doing whatever, waiting for people to give them handouts instead of just going out and producing so that they can obtain. Being the best that they can be. Being leaders in their fields, whatever it is that they decide they want to get into. But instead, and again, like I said, a lot of it is because people from our generation, we were raised like this, but not on this level. Look at how many of us, our parents told us, you're special. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whatever you want to be. Take your time, this, that, and the other. You got the rest of your life ahead of you. Look at how many of those same people haven't done anything with their lives. They're sitting around, honestly, waiting for welfare checks or some type of stimulus checks and this, that, and the other, and not really trying to advance and move forward. Now, yes, there are a lot of people from our generation, they've actually done, and they've gone out, they've established, they've obtained. But you have just as many of us, if you look back at some of our old junior high school and high school friends, they're still in the same exact place. Economically, educationally, socially, in every way, shape, or form. They're the same way they were back then as they are now. They're just older. There are a lot of people like that from our generation. Now, when you talk about our children, there are even more of them. And the thing about it is we're doing this to them. We're not letting them know, listen, when you step out of this house, when you go out there, you have to show improve. All that mediocre stuff and this, that, and other. No, listen, you can't do this when you go out there. Because if you continue to do this right here, you're going to be like that right there. They need to know that, listen, it's not as pretty of a picture as it is out there as it is in here. Many of us, we have said, no, when we look at, sometimes, we sit around and we say, I wish it was like this. I wish they were like this. Or we say, generation for that, generation this and generation that and this. But if you look, if you see the majority of these people like this, there's a good chance that it's what we did to produce that. And if we see that we've made a mistake, not in our children, obviously, but if we see we've made a mistake in the way that we've raised them, what we've put into them, what we haven't put into them, then it's time for us to admit, listen, we failed in this aspect. Now let me not just sit back and say, okay, I failed, khalas, forget it. But no, we have to look into how we can fix this situation. What can we do to help this generation so that they can be better than we are? Not what we can just continue sitting around complaining about them. Oh, they don't want to do this, or they're lazy and they're this. No, listen, this is a generation of people that we produced. We caused the problem. We have to fix the problem. So when it comes to our children, and some of us our grandchildren, we need to set them up and let them know, yes, let them know that they're special to us. Let them know that we love them to death. Let them know, but we also have to let them know what's going to happen to them when they go outside. We also have to let them know about the reality of what they have waiting for them. Because nowadays you don't have people looking to give people a leg up. People are looking for the best employees that they can find when it comes to jobs. Men are looking for the best wives that they can find when it comes to getting married. Women are looking for the best husbands they can find when it comes to getting married. These days of all this mediocre stuff, it's just not going to fly. Look at our marriage rates nowadays. I'm not even going to discuss the issue of divorce rates. But people aren't even really getting married anymore. People are starting families and people are moving in together and living together. The situation of marriage isn't even on the table for a lot of people anymore. So the thing that I need for you all to understand, or for us to all agree upon, is that we need to do better when it comes to our children. We can't keep allowing them to be put in a situation to where they can just sit back and, feel comfortable playing video games all day long, watching TV all day long, watching movies all day long. We have to get them ready to be the leaders of tomorrow. Yes, we have to breathe life into them. We have to let them know, listen, we got you. But at the same point in time, we also have to let them know that, listen, you have to take the reins. We have to let them know that, listen, when you get out here, you have to show improve. Your education is very important. Your learning life skills are very important. Because if you go out here with the same mentality, mom and dad are going to pay it for everything. Mom and dad are going to pay the rent. Mom and dad are going to pay the bills. Mom and dad are going to pay for the food. Mom and dad are going to pay for my clothes. Mom and dad. Now, what happens? May Allah preserve them from this type of situation and protect all of y'all. Allahumma ameen. But what happens when a car crash or something happens? They lose their parents. What type of situation are they in? What are they going to be able to do? So, what I'm saying here is that we have to do better as parents. We have to put our kids in situations and environments, obviously controlled situations and environments where we throw them out. Not throw them out to the wolves, not throw them out of the house, but we throw them out and we make them, put them in a situation where they're going to sink or swim. We're not going to let them sink so that they can get used to making the decisions they need to make. So that they can get out there and they can get into the situation in a controlled environment within our walls, obviously, to where now they're decision makers. They're pushing their lives forward. Now we have that little stick that that you pull people in. The lifeguards use it, to, instead of jumping in and getting drowned themselves, they stick a stick down in the water and they'll pull you over to the side of the pool. We're there to do that for them. But it's like, listen, you got to try first. We have to get them used to making those snap decisions, making those life decisions. We have to get them used to, I had a discussion not too long ago with one of the youth that mean the world to me. And what I had said was, how can I put it? You have to be willing to work for those things that you want. They were like, I want this, I want that, I want this. I was like, no, you don't. You don't want that. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. No, you don't want that. And then I explained that there's a difference between us wanting something and us believing that that would be nice. The difference is things that you want, you'll work because listen, I want that. I got to get it. I got to get my hands on it. Those things that you think, oh, it'd be nice to have that, or it'd be nice to be over there. It'd be nice to do this. But you make absolutely no effort. It's not something that you really want. We need to teach our children that, listen, if you want something, you have to work for it. Even if we have to go to what our parents used to do to us back in the days. Listen, if you want this, that, okay, well, listen, I'll tell you what. You do this and you do your chores and this, that, and I'll give you a certain amount of allowance. You can save it up and you can buy it. Now tell me, how many of you that had parents that worked with you like that didn't learn at a younger age the importance of working for things and how much more it made you appreciate those things? When your parents would buy for you, you take your toys and, lend them out to people, play with them, throw them down the steps and all the rest of that stuff. But when you put your own money to it, your money you worked hard to earn, that thing meant something to you. It meant more than, oh, okay, listen, I have what I wanted. But it gave you a sense of accomplishment. And hopefully it sets you off on the right road that, listen, I don't want to keep having to ask people for everything. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with us putting our children in a situation where, okay, well, listen, look, you can't do it. Listen, let me help you out. But we cannot allow our children to grow up thinking, okay, well, everybody's going to give me a handout. I can just sit around and wait for it to happen to me. I can sit around and wait, and if I talk about it enough, somebody's going to get up and give it to me. What type of adults are we putting out there in the world? Because you have to remember, your child. Now, yes, we look at them. I don't care how old they are. We love them to death, and look, that's our baby, regardless of how old they are. But you have to remember that your child one day is going to be the father or the son of your grandchildren. They're going to be the ones that are going to pour into your lineage what they need to know so that they can move forward in life. They're going to be the ones that are having your grandchildren. They're going to be the ones that are picking or are marrying the right husband or the right wife, or marrying the wrong husband or the wrong wife. They're the ones that are going to be instilling these morals and values into those next generations that are going to come from your lineage. You don't think that you need to be sitting back and working on how to develop the right type of an individual that's going to bring this about? You don't think that this is training that is needed? I mean, all you have to do is listen to what's going on in society. People are walking around talking about, I didn't have a father in my life, so I didn't really learn how to be a man. I had to learn it off the streets. I didn't really have a mother in my life, so I didn't really learn how to be a woman, so I had to learn it off the streets. Or we had to learn it off of the television, or we had to learn it from our friends. Because being a husband, being a wife, being a parent, these are all things that individuals are taught. Some way, shape, or form they're taught, and they're taught from somebody. They learn it in school. They learn it from their peers. They learn it from the TV and the movies and the music. They learn it from the social media. They learn it from the streets. Or they can learn it from their parents. Because believe me when I tell you, all of these other things don't have your children's best interest at heart. This is your job to make them the type of people that are going to be the leaders of not only your lineage, but they're going to be the leaders of tomorrow. So this sitting around telling them, babying them, and a lot of times, if you really think about it, it's not for their sake, it's for our sake. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel good. Oh, my child loves me so much. I love her. Oh, let me get the hugs and the kisses, and I'm on your side no matter what, and this, that. No, listen, we need to let our children need to know, listen, I'm going to let you know when you're right, and I'm going to let you know when you're wrong. Listen, you're a man now, or you're becoming a man now, you need to be responsible. You're becoming a woman now, you need to be responsible. When it comes to playing this role in your life, this is how it's supposed to be done. When it comes to this role in your life, this is how it's supposed to be done. And if you think I'm lying, next time you get the opportunity, ask your child, ask your son, what is a husband? You want to get married one day? Yeah, okay, alhamdulillah. So you want to be somebody's husband, right? Yes, sure, yes. What is a husband? You'd be surprised how many of them don't know, other than it's the wife's other half. Many of them don't know. And the ones that do know, how little they know of it. Because we're not teaching them, we're not showing them these things. We're supposed to be getting them ready for their next role in life, not just babying them. Ask your daughters. You want to get married? Yeah, sure. You want to be somebody's wife? Yes. What is a wife to a husband? What is she? What is his responsibilities and her responsibilities, and what is his rights and her rights? You'd be surprised how little they know. These are the things we're supposed to be instilling in our children. We're supposed to be teaching them work ethic. And if you say we're doing our job, as you say we are, as a community, as a people, not as individuals, forget the individual stuff, because you're always going to find individuals that are outside of what we're talking about. But if you think that what I'm saying isn't true, look outside and look at the work ethic. Are we failing this generation that's coming behind us? And if we fail them and we don't teach them what they need to know, and we haven't given them what they need to know, how are they going to give it to the next generation? You want to see that what I'm saying is correct. And like I said, I know some of you are going to be upset about what I'm saying here. But this is something that these are discussions that you all need to be taking and having in your circles. This is why we call this particular set of videos the community circle. is about our community and doing better in our societies. We can't continue to keep sitting here and doing what we're doing and thinking we're going to succeed. If you think what I'm saying to you about us dropping the ball, look at, and this is not to say anything about our parents, because our parents, they did the best they could do, because it's a good chance that they didn't learn these things. But look, if we find, because we're always going to say that we're the best we can be as individuals. So when we look at our siblings, if we find the majority of them are not what we would be considered to be, or we would call being successful at being parents, spouse or husbands, wives, parents, all of the rest of this, workers, having good work ethic and all of the rest of this, it's a good chance that we were all raised that way. And when we look at our children and we find that our children are just like them, we see that, listen, these are habits, values, and morals that got passed from one generation to our generation, and we're passing them on to the next generation. It's time we stop the madness. It's time we stop the madness. Because we have to make sure that we can do what we need to do in order to give them what it is they need. We can't continue to let this thing move the way it's moving. Because if you look, it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. We should want better for ours. And if sometimes us being a little harder on them for their own good is better, then this is the route we need to take. You know, I remember making a statement, or even hearing a statement, I should say, as I was younger. I would rather my children grow up and dislike me, knowing that I made them better, and I gave them a better possibility for their future, than for them to grow up happy with me and being pleased, knowing that I led them down the path of destruction. I led them down the path because I wanted to be more of a friend to them than a parent. I left them go down in a direction that is going to cause them to struggle in life and live a hard life and end up not really being able to do anything in life. If you ask, that's absolutely selfish. Some of you could say, okay, well, listen, Abdul-Lateef, what you're saying is a little, And I respect your opinion. But I'm telling you, if you think other than that, I believe that your opinion is a little, And that what? I believe it's selfish for you to care more about your child being happy with you, because you gave them their way. You allowed them to do what they want to do. What you say is individualism. You allowed them to be an individual. Great, fine. But at the end of the day, where does that lead them? Where does it leave them? Children, young adults, they need structure. They need to be taught to what's the best way to put it? They need to be taught to follow the rules, not for rules' sake. We look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does it in His religion. Allah doesn't just make rules just and look, boom, just because I said so. The rules are there, one, to help us to establish that which is good and to stay away from that which is harm. But also we need to understand that there are rules in life. No matter what we do, what walk of life we're in, and all the rest, there are rules that we have to follow. There's always going to be somebody over us, and they're always going to have the right to dictate to us how we walk, where we walk, when we walk, and all of the rest of that. And if we don't stay in line, we're going to create more fitna and problems for the society, as well as this whole idea of, I'm doing me. This is what not having a bunch of rules brings out. And look at our generation and the generation that came after. Everybody, keeping it 100, doing me, and all the rest of that stuff. Come on, how is that ever going to create a healthy society, let alone a healthy family, and even more than that, let alone a healthy individual? We owe our children, we owe this next generation more than this. Like I said, listen, I'm the first one from amongst us to say, listen, look, man, we failed. But at the same point in time, none of us are dead. None of us are dead. We got time where we could turn this thing around. We have to work together to help this generation, to show them what's right. They tell you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and I'm telling you that's wrong. That's dead wrong. You might not be able to teach a dumb dog new tricks. But an old dog that has a little bit of wisdom with them, they're going to see what's right, and they're going to move in that direction. Now, like I said, I know some of you, especially with all of these new parenting styles and theories and things on it, is not to laugh at anybody, but all this gentle parenting and this parenting style and this parenting style and this parenting style. Listen, if you really want to know what works, or actually, I'm not even going to take this particular video in that direction, but you can see all of this stuff that society is pointing us to. It doesn't work. It's all for to bring you down and bring your societies down, your communities down. If you think I'm lying, look at what it is that is being pushed in your society as an overall whole. Is it that which is going to benefit you and your children and your family and your community, or is it that which is going to bring about harm? And if you find the majority of these things are bringing about harm, then you have to be real careful with everything else that they're putting in front of you. All right? So, like I said, I don't want to take up too much of your time. And, I appreciate you checking out the video. Inshallah, like I always tell you, listen, as content creators, how can I put it? We do our best to bring you beneficial information. In this particular video series, Taib, the community circle, I try to start those discussions that we can all have to push us all forward as individuals, as families, and as societies. And even more than that, as an ummah. But in order, we do what we could do to help you out. And what we need from you, we all need from you. Whether people are going to ask about it or not, because some people feel as though it's a little, beneath them to have to ask. But your likes, comments, shares, and all of the rest of that, it helps to get our information out there. It helps to get our information pushed so that we can reach more people. So if you find that people are doing those things that, you find to be beneficial, if you find that people are creating content that's really helping you, that's moving you in the right direction, that's giving you that push that you need, let it be known. Let it be known that you were there. So don't forget, help out with the algorithm, likes, shares, comments, all the rest of that stuff. As you know, as usual, my channel hasn't gotten so big to where I get so many comments I can't deal with them. So I personally deal with the comments on this particular channel, especially on this particular video series, especially with this, because we are a community. And I'm here for y'all, and I hope y'all are here for me. And inshallah, I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, click the link in the description for the Patreon. Inshallah, we'll see you in there. And any comments, like I said, any comments or questions, leave them below, inshallah, and I'll get to them as soon as possible. طيب, جزاكم الله خير وبارك الله فيكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.